So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from the prosecution. Now it's time to meet the defense team. Let's start with Dwayne Cates, expert lawyer from Arizona, the very same place where Jodi's case is being tried. Also, Ashley Merchant, expert of many death penalty cases. And, of course, Esther Panitch, criminal defense attorney who has a focus on some domestic violence issues and cases. So that is your team. Now, Esther Panitch, you've worked with many domestic violence victims. What does Jodi's situation tell you, and your work with victims tell you about this particular case?
My experience shows with victims of abuse that if you ask them what they remember from the abuse, it is not so much the physical scars or the physical abuse, because the scars generally heal. It is the emotional, it is the mental, it is the sexual abuse that they always remember. It's the name calling, it's the constant demeaning, making the children feel like they don't belong in that family, that they're not good enough. That is what lasts. And so you can be abused without physical scars, although even in this case, Jodi's brother confirms and corroborates the abuse, which contradicts what the parents say. So are you to believe the parents who say that they didn't abuse their own children? Because what else are they going to say? Or are you going to believe the children who were actually abused? And Jodi can still be a murderer, but she was also abused.
Okay, juror number 10.
Yeah, earlier you said that telling the truth didn't run in the Arias family, so that would mean Jodi was a liar too. So she's a proven liar. What would make her more believable than her parents?
Esther Panitch.
Well, if she was making up abuse, wouldn't she make up something much worse than a wooden spoon? I mean, wouldn't she just go all out and say that they locked her in a closet for weeks at a time? There wouldn't be any necessary record of that either. So it's because she's not going overboard that we can actually believe what she's saying in this. She's minimizing it, although it is still substantial abuse, even if it's not as bad as being locked into a closet. So that's why I would tend to believe her on something like this, because she has not gone over the top, as she usually does when she lies.
All right, juror number 7 has a question as well.
I guess I want to ask, as the defense attorney, how do you know when someone is a pathological liar, when they really are telling you the truth or not?
Esther, I'm going to direct that to you because you've worked with domestic violence cases. Address the juror's question there.
Well, that is why corroboration is so important in this case, because it's true. When someone lies all the time, you don't know when to believe them and when not to believe them. But if there's an independent witness who has no reason to lie for her, you can look at that witness with some level of veracity, that they have some veracity. Now, the son is also testifying against his parents. You might think that he's just trying to save Jodi's life, but he also has to go back to that family. So is it worth lying against his parents if it wasn't true? I mean, you have to assess his credibility. So it's very important in this case that there is corroboration, which usually in domestic violence cases, there is no corroboration. And one more point as to the physical abuse. In this state, in Georgia, if an adult strikes another adult and a child is present, they don't have to be actually injured. If the child is present, it is a crime. It is called cruelty to children. That is how much abuse matters to children, that even in their presence, it is a crime.
All right, so Esther Panitch, why don't you rebut Vinny's smoking gun for the jury?
Well, Vinny, if you're going to cook with a wooden spoon, it is not a problem. If you're going to threaten with a wooden spoon, probably not a problem. If you are going to beat the child with the wooden spoon, it is a big problem. You can't minimize it just because it's small. It is an object which can be used to hurt somebody, especially a young child.